Welcome back to our channel. Today, we bring you a story that will leave you absolutely speechless. No one can believe it. Jun Ho reveals the secret behind winning the heart of goddess Yoona. From his heartfelt confession to the shocking truth that fans never saw coming, we'll uncover every detail of this unbelievable love story. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest updates on your favorite stars. For years, fans of K-pop and K-drama have dreamed of an on-screen romance between idols who seemed too perfect to ever come together in reality. But sometimes, the truth surpasses even the wildest imagination. When Jun Ho, the charismatic singer-actor who has won hearts through his performances and his unforgettable charm, admitted that he never imagined Yoona would notice him, the entire entertainment industry froze for a moment. His confession didn't just sound like a line from a romantic drama. It was a living revelation that blurred the line between fiction and reality. How could a man so admired, so talented, so adored by millions think that a woman like Yoona, an icon of beauty and grace, the so-called nation's goddess, would never see him? And yet, in a twist that left everyone speechless, he revealed the secret path that led to her heart. The story begins quietly, almost like the opening scene of a drama where nothing seems extraordinary, yet every detail matters. Jun Ho confessed that he had admired Yoona from afar for a long time, like so many others in the industry. She wasn't just a beautiful face. She had the kind of aura that could silence a room, the type of elegance that made people feel small, yet inspired at the same time. He had watched her performances, her effortless way of carrying herself on stage, and her natural laughter in interviews. But unlike others who only marveled, he kept his admiration buried, thinking she existed in a world far away from his own. "I never thought she would notice me," he admitted, his voice carrying the raw sincerity that melted the hearts of those who heard it. For someone who had conquered so much, who had transformed from an idol in 2PM to one of the most respected actors in Korea, his humility was shocking. And perhaps that humility was part of the secret all along. When asked how he managed to win over someone like Yoona, Jun Ho smiled, and it wasn't the rehearsed smile of a celebrity trying to please the cameras. It was the smile of a man who had stumbled, who had waited, who had dared to hope. He didn't try to impress her with fame, fortune, or his status in the industry. Instead, he allowed himself to be real. "I wanted her to see me not as Jun Ho the celebrity, but just as Jun Ho, the man who can laugh at himself, who works hard, who fails, who gets up again," he explained. And it was precisely that vulnerability that made Yoona see him differently. Fans who read his words couldn't help but gasp. Was this the same man who lit up stadiums, who played magnetic characters on screen, now revealing that the greatest role he ever played was simply being himself in front of the woman he loved? Yoona, known for her elegance and for being almost untouchable in her beauty, reportedly found herself disarmed by Jun Ho's authenticity. He wasn't trying to compete with the flawless image the world had painted of her. Instead, he offered her something the cameras could never capture: honesty. He listened when she spoke, not because she was Yoona the superstar, but because he cared about her words. He didn't try to rush her heart because he understood that love, even for those who seem larger than life, requires time and patience. Slowly, the walls around her began to crack, and for the first time, perhaps even Yoona herself realized she could be seen not as an icon, but as a woman deserving of love. "That's the moment I understood," Jun Ho said softly. "She didn't need perfection. She needed truth." The industry buzzed when his words came out. Fans swarmed social media with disbelief and exhilaration. "Is this real life?" one wrote, while another added, "This sounds like a K-drama, but it's happening in reality." Others even replayed old clips of the two at award shows and variety programs, pointing out moments when Jun Ho looked at Yoona just a little longer than necessary, or when she smiled in a way that now seemed filled with hidden meaning. It was as though every subtle glance, every casual conversation from the past had transformed into evidence of a story unfolding in the shadows. But the true shock came when Jun Ho finally revealed what he believed to be the key that unlocked her heart. He didn't try to outshine her. Instead, he tried to stand by her side, to show her that she wouldn't have to walk alone. In those simple words, fans saw the essence of a love story that felt more real than any scripted romance. Yoona, who had always carried the image of being flawless, had found someone who embraced not just the image, but the human being beneath it. Jun Ho, in turn, had found someone who didn't just admire his talent, but valued his soul. The press couldn't get enough of the story. Headlines blazed across the internet comparing their romance to legendary love tales and fairy tales rewritten for the modern age. Yet at the core of all the noise was something heartbreakingly simple. Jun Ho had won Yoona's heart not with extravagant gestures or dramatic declarations, but with quiet perseverance, unshakable sincerity, and a willingness to let her see the man behind the spotlight. That was the secret that no one could have predicted, the revelation that stunned even the most skeptical observers. Fans began imagining what this could mean for the future. Could the two appear together on screen, turning their real-life connection into the kind of chemistry that no director could manufacture? Would they dare to walk red carpets side by side, no longer as colleagues, but as partners? Some even speculated about marriage, their minds running far ahead into a future where two of Korea's brightest stars shared not only the stage, but a home. Whether or not those dreams will become reality remains uncertain, but one thing has become undeniable. The confession itself has already written a new chapter in the story of Korean entertainment. As the dust settles, the most striking part of Jun Ho's revelation is not the glamour or the fantasy, but the truth that resonates with anyone who has ever loved. Love doesn't always come from the grandest gestures. Sometimes it is won in the quiet spaces, in the moments of laughter, in the willingness to be genuine when the world demands perfection. Lee Jun Ho's secret is one that fans will never forget, not because it was shocking in its extravagance, but because it was shocking in its simplicity. Against all odds, he reminded everyone that even goddesses can fall in love with men who dare to be real. And so, the world now looks at Yoona and Jun Ho differently, not just as stars of the stage and screen, but as two human beings who dared to write their own story. No one can believe it, but perhaps that's the magic. Sometimes the most unbelievable love stories are the ones that happen right before our eyes, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the moment when truth finally steps into the spotlight. The more Jun Ho spoke, the more people realized that his story was not simply about two celebrities falling in love, but about breaking down walls that fame had built around them. Yoona had always been placed on a pedestal, someone admired by millions, but rarely understood as a woman who also longed for warmth and authenticity. Jun Ho, despite his success, carried his own scars from years of struggle in the entertainment industry, from endless training days as an idol to fighting for recognition as an actor. Their paths may have been different, but both knew the loneliness that comes when the world sees only perfection, not vulnerability. Perhaps that was why they understood each other more deeply than anyone else could. Behind the scenes, close acquaintances revealed small, quiet moments that hinted at the bond they had built. There were evenings when Yoona would stop by one of Jun Ho's rehearsals, sitting silently in the corner, watching him practice until midnight, cheering him on with just a smile when he stumbled through the choreography. There were mornings when Jun Ho would send her a message of encouragement before she filmed a challenging scene, reminding her that she wasn't alone even when the camera surrounded her. These glimpses painted a picture of two people who didn't need grand public displays of affection because they had already created a world of their own in the private spaces of trust and companionship. The industry insiders whispered about how they seemed to gravitate towards each other at events, not in ways obvious enough to create scandals, but in subtle gestures. The way Jun Ho would instinctively hold the door for her, the way Yoona's laughter seemed louder, freer whenever he was near. Fans, upon revisiting old footage, now claim they had noticed something too, but at the time they brushed it off as mere professionalism. But hindsight changes everything. It was always there, one fan tweeted. We just didn't want to believe it because it felt too